This is Radio Poland. You're tuned to Q&A, a program showcasing the news and views on society in Poland and Europe. I'm Roberto Galea. Welcome to the show. This time we welcome our guest, Dr Elżbieta Kuzborska, Scientific Secretary of the Association of Polish Academics in Lithuania, who just edited a book called Integration and Exclusion. Here is the beautiful cover. The subtitle is Linguistic Rights of National Minorities in Europe. This book comes at a time when in recent weeks the Brexit debate discussed minorities, integration, disintegration, exclusion even. Is this what this book is about? Or is it something closer to Poland and this region that we are right here?
The book was published in Vilnius a few months ago, and it contains contributions of participants of International Scientific Conference held in Vilnius in November last year. Mm-hmm. And the conference was organized by the Association of Polish Academics in Lithuania with the support of International Observatory of Language Rights at the University of Moncton in Canada. And we found the topic of linguistic rights of particular importance as significant tool to preserve identity of minorities and very important tool in integrating them into society.
Okay, that's basically related to Poland and the region and Lithuania. So the book reviews the situation of language rights of national minorities in European countries. But what else?
I was very lucky as an organizer of this conference and editor of this book because world's leading and Europe's leading expert contributed to this publication. The first part contains a general overview of situation and the perspectives of language rights, not only in European but also in universal framework. Francesco Palermo, Fernand de Varenne, Lauri Heinikainen, as well as Lukas Schwarden and Katarzyna Miksza contributed to those perspectives. The first part on challenges and frameworks of minority and linguistic rights protection.
But
and
linguistic, is it talking about dictionaries, about thesaurus, about synonyms of different words, and how languages are similar to each other? Or is there something deeper? Is this a book for linguists to know more about where language comes from, or is there something else?
This book presents legal perspective of linguistic rights, namely schooling in minority languages, using topographical indications in minority languages, official spelling and recognition of original name of minorities, mm-hmm. and in general, the use of minority languages in public in the context of governmental policies on basically on integration. And what's important, the second part of this book presents case studies on different countries, different country perspectives, how those integrational policies, those minority rights, are implemented.
So could you give us an example, something that relates to us here in Poland? I know that Poles are a big minority we mentioned the Brexit debate earlier, in the UK, but they're also a minority in Lithuania, a country that is close to your heart. Could you tell us a little bit about how Poles identify themselves in Lithuania and how they manage to integrate themselves in local society?
The language rights of Poles in Lithuania are of the particular importance as they express the main characteristics of their identity, and I mean the language. So they are eager to preserve their identity and their language. Unfortunately, there is no currently there is no law on national minorities in Lithuania, but Lithuanian parliament is working on it, and hopefully sooner or later we'll get strong legal frameworks for language rights protection.
And why is this important?
Because language is the main characteristic of identity of every individual in the world. I could not think about any other strong characteristics like language, religion, cultural attitudes.
So traditions, things like food, things
Exactly,
like
they
that.
are
If you
also a
wipe those
part-
out, you're wiping out an important part of what
Identity.
of the identity of these people.
Exactly. So in this book, we try to present different countries' perspective on those basic minority characteristics. We presented Spanish perspective, Polish perspective, how minority rights are protected in Poland, in United Kingdom, in Latvia, Lithuania, in Belarus, also in Romania, in Italy. We have a broad
Is there
case.
anything in this book that describes not how they are protected, but how they are being damaged, how they are being...
Of course, this book contains also negative examples, but we tried to present it as something that what could be done in order to challenge and in order to
improve the
situation of minorities in the region.
And my last question, Dr. Kuzborska, the key word in your publication, it's right here, the first word of the title, is integration. What does it mean in contemporary Europe?
Integration is a two-way street. On one hand, minorities learn and use official language, and on the other hand, governments try to, especially local authorities, use minority languages when contacting representatives of minorities, and they allow them to exercise their basic minority and linguistic rights, such as bilingual topographical indication, such as the use of minority languages in public, as well as recognition of original spelling of names and surnames. And this shows openness and acceptance for your identity in the context of large civil society. It allows minorities to participate as equal in public affairs. And at the end, it builds a climate of cohesiveness and openness of the society. We need to understand that language preferences used in governmental policies can advantage or disadvantage minorities. They can allow them to participate in public affairs, or they can disadvantage them in terms of job opportunities, in terms of schooling. Very basic example. Teaching in mother tongue, especially in primary grades, gives better results when compared to teaching in official language to children from minority families.
Thank you very much, Dr. Elżbieta Kuzborska, Scientific Secretary of the Association of Polish Academics in Lithuania. Perhaps at the very end, this is a new book. It has just been published. Could you tell us how our listeners can obtain a copy?
Of course. All you need to do is to contact me. Please send me a message, kuzborska@gmail.com.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And that's all for this week. I'm Roberto Galea. Stay tuned. Goodbye.